Hello friends. Today we will talk about a deeply significant and often overlooked reality that affects our daily lives: envy and falsehood. These two forces have the power to disrupt our peace, create unnecessary conflicts, and lead us away from our true purpose. However, if we learn to recognize them, we can navigate life with greater clarity and strength. Modern Stoicism teaches us to observe these negative emotions, understand their nature, and develop the mental resilience needed to rise above them. Envy and falsehood exist in every society, every group, and every relationship. Envy is like a fire that does not just burn others, but consumes the one who harbors it. Similarly, falsehood is like a poison that slowly erodes trust, truth, and authenticity. The problem is that most people fail to recognize these forces in action. Sometimes envy works silently, and falsehood is spoken so convincingly that we do not even realize we are being deceived. Stoic philosophy teaches us not to be misled by emotions, but to analyze reality with a calm and rational mind. It urges us to observe, reflect, and align our lives with a higher purpose. If we can recognize envy and falsehood in others and shield ourselves from their influence, we can protect our inner peace and grow stronger as individuals. But how do we identify these forces? How can we uncover hidden envy and deception in those around us? The key lies in understanding people's intentions, scrutinizing their words beyond their surface meaning, and analyzing their actions carefully. Let us now explore the subtle yet clear signs of envy and falsehood in people. One of the first signs of envy is that envious people can never truly celebrate your happiness. They will always find a way to downplay your achievements. If you notice someone complimenting you with a subtle hint of negativity, saying things like, "You did well, but you were just lucky," this could be a sign of envy. A true well-wisher will genuinely appreciate your success, while an envious person will always try to undermine it. Falsehood, on the other hand, can be identified by inconsistencies in a person's words. Liars often contradict themselves. They may say one thing today and something entirely different tomorrow. If you observe someone frequently changing their statements or making excuses when caught, this is a red flag. Another clear sign of envy is that envious people are always quick to point out flaws in your work, no matter how good it is. If you start a new project and instead of encouragement, certain people only highlight what could go wrong, their negativity may be rooted in envy. Such individuals may smile in front of you but speak ill of you behind your back. Liars, on the other hand, often play with emotions. They tell exaggerated stories to gain sympathy. Their words may sound dramatic and touching, but their actions tell a different story. A habitual liar will always paint themselves as the victim while blaming others for everything. A crucial sign of envy is that envious people will never offer you real opportunities to grow. Instead, they will try to keep you stuck in one place. If someone constantly fills your mind with doubt, discouragement, or fear, they might be envious of your potential. Pay attention to those who subtly undermine your confidence. Liars, in contrast, always make empty promises. They will repeatedly assure you of their support, but when the time comes to act, they will disappear. Their words and actions will never align. Another way to recognize envious individuals is that they tend to withdraw from you when you succeed. When you struggle, they may be around, pretending to support you, but as soon as you achieve something meaningful, they distance themselves. This happens because your success reminds them of their own insecurities. Falsehood also manifests in people who always try to control you. They may tell you different versions of the same story, confusing you so that you do not see the truth. They manipulate reality to suit their needs and keep you in a state of doubt. A classic sign of envy is that envious people focus on your weaknesses but never acknowledge your strengths. They will constantly remind you of your past failures so that you start doubting yourself. True supporters will encourage you, but envious individuals will only highlight your shortcomings. Liars, on the other hand, have a habit of twisting reality to serve their narrative. If someone consistently shifts blame, never taking responsibility for their own actions, they are likely hiding the truth. In the face of such people, what should we do? The answer lies in modern Stoicism. A Stoic does not react impulsively to envy or falsehood, but calmly observes and chooses their response wisely. If you suspect someone is envious of you or deceiving you, do not confront them with anger. Instead, study their behavior, recognize their patterns, and maintain your composure. And now, let me leave you with a powerful thought. If someone envies you, it means you have something valuable. If someone lies to you, it means they fear your truth. In this world, people will always try to pull you down, but remember, your path is yours alone. Free yourself from the chains of envy and deception. Embrace your truth, and never let anyone's negativity dim your light. Be a Stoic, stay calm, and keep moving forward with unwavering determination. Today, I want to talk about something that affects every one of us, whether we recognize it or not: envy and falsehood. These two destructive forces can ruin relationships, weaken our confidence, and distort our perception of reality. But if we learn to identify them, we can protect ourselves and lead a life of clarity and inner peace. Modern Stoicism, a powerful philosophy rooted in rational thinking and emotional discipline, provides us with the tools to navigate through these negative influences. It teaches us to observe without being reactive, to think deeply before trusting, and to build a mindset that is resilient against external negativity. Stoicism is not just about controlling our emotions, it's about understanding the hidden forces at play in human behavior and using that knowledge to strengthen ourselves. Why is it important to recognize envy and falsehood in others? Because both can be silent destroyers. Envy is a fire that slowly consumes a person from within. It makes people resentful of others' happiness and success. A person consumed by envy might smile at you, but secretly wish for your downfall. Falsehood, on the other hand, is the poison that erodes trust and distorts reality. Liars manipulate situations to their advantage, create illusions, and play with emotions to get what they want. You cannot always change these people, but you can change how you deal with them. You can train yourself to detect envy before it harms you and recognize deception before you fall into its trap. So, how do we identify these people? How can we protect ourselves from their negativity while staying true to our path? Let's go deep into this subject and uncover the 13 ways to recognize envy and falsehood in others, according to modern Stoic wisdom. 1. The subtle insults disguised as compliments. One of the clearest signs of envy is when someone praises you, but there's a hidden insult in their words. Have you ever heard something like this? Wow, you got that promotion. That's great, but honestly, I thought they would have picked someone with more experience. Or, your business is doing well. That's awesome. But let's be real, the market is easy these days, anyone can succeed now. These are not genuine compliments. They are passive-aggressive remarks designed to make you question your success. Stoicism teaches us to recognize these comments for what they are: attempts to bring you down subtly. 2. They celebrate your failures, not your successes. A true friend or well-wisher feels happy when you succeed and sad when you struggle. But an envious person feels the opposite. They may not openly say it, but they will secretly take pleasure in your failures. Have you ever noticed someone being overly curious about your problems, asking for every little detail when things go wrong, but barely acknowledging your victories? That's a red flag. Stoics believe in observing actions more than words. If someone only shows interest when you're struggling but remains silent when you succeed, they are not truly supportive. 3. The constant need to one-up you. Envious people cannot stand seeing you shine, so they always try to bring the attention back to themselves. If you say, "I finally bought my dream car," they'll immediately reply, "Oh, that's nice, but I bought a better one last year." It's not a competition, but they will make it one. Their goal is to make sure you never feel superior to them, even for a moment. Stoicism teaches us to detach from the need for external validation. If you notice someone constantly trying to outdo you, let them. Do not engage. Your self-worth should never depend on their approval. 4. They downplay your achievements. A jealous person will never acknowledge your hard work. If you succeed, they will call it luck. If you win, they will say the competition was easy. If you achieve something remarkable, they will say it's not a big deal. Stoicism teaches us that people's opinions should not define our reality. Do not waste time convincing an envious person of your worth. They have already decided to minimize your success to make themselves feel better. 5. They are friendly to your face but criticize you behind your back. A classic sign of both envy and falsehood is two-faced behavior. If you notice that someone speaks well of you in person but spreads negativity about you when you're not around, be cautious. Stoicism teaches us that actions speak louder than words. Observe how people behave when you're not in the room. That is their true character. 6. The sudden distance when you succeed. Envious people do not just show their jealousy through words, they show it through actions. If you suddenly achieve something great, and someone who used to be close to you starts avoiding you, it's a sign that they are struggling with your success. They may claim they're too busy or that they just need some space, but the truth is they cannot handle your growth. A Stoic response: let them go. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, not those who distance themselves when they can no longer feel superior. 7. They pretend to be the victim. Liars often manipulate situations to make themselves look like victims. They twist the truth to gain sympathy, making it seem like they are always the ones suffering while others are at fault. A person who never takes responsibility for their mistakes but always blames others is someone you should be wary of. Stoicism teaches us to take full ownership of our actions. Those who refuse to do so are often hiding the truth. 8. They gossip and spread rumors. Falsehood thrives on secrecy and manipulation. If someone constantly gossips about others, you can be sure they will gossip about you too. Liars love distorting facts and twisting stories to create drama. A Stoic approach: never engage in gossip. If someone spreads falsehood about you, do not react emotionally. Instead, let the truth reveal itself over time. Lies eventually collapse under the weight of their own contradictions. 9. They are overly charismatic but inconsistent. Some liars are smooth talkers. They know exactly what to say to win people over. They make grand promises but rarely follow through. If someone's words are always impressive but their actions are unreliable, be cautious. Stoicism values consistency over charm. Always judge a person by their repeated behavior, not by their words. 10. They try to control you with guilt. False people manipulate others by making them feel guilty. They will say things like, "After everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me." A Stoic never allows guilt to dictate their choices. You are not responsible for managing another person's emotions, especially when they are using manipulation tactics. Final words. Recognizing envy and falsehood is essential if you want to protect your peace, maintain strong relationships, and stay on the path of growth. Remember this: if someone envies you, it means you have something valuable. If someone lies to you, it means they fear your truth.